I am not an engineer, I am an entrepreneur. And the ideas really they come from the time where I was a child. When I was a child, I was very good for paper planes, and also I like very much very small planes with elastics, and also kites. I was fine. I learned how to do and to fly the kites, and to build the kites, also, I had a very simple planes that you run with a cord. So I did not know, but my inspiration and the inspiration of the company doing those robotic devices really come from this. The first project we started at Parrot was called BTT. So Parrot is a company that I started 20 years ago, high-tech company. And the name of Parrot do not come from the fact that we do drones, but it comes by the fact that we do speech recognition, and we do consumer products using speech recognition, and we are more DSP, software specialist, speech processing specialist, and audio specialist. And we have developed a lot of Bluetooth products. Especially, we do Bluetooth products for the car and the car industry. So 10 years ago, I was thinking of what next in Bluetooth? What can I do next in Bluetooth? And the project was called Bluetooth Toy, BTT. So the inspiration, the ideas, they come from the childhood, but also from the technology. When the Bluetooth system, this is an early Bluetooth system, who was a digital radio the size of a match. 10 years ago, it was incredible. You know, when I was seeing this, I was thinking, it's incredible. I can do something with this. You know, if an electronic radio digital cost, at this time it was costing a few dozens of dollars, but the promise that it was to have something to $5. I was thinking, if I have this kind of radio, I can really do something new. And also the cameras. This is a consumer video camera that is used in a webcam or used on a phone. And when I have seen this, I have completely amazed, because this is a full camera. It takes video in color. It has a lens. You have a white balance. It's not the best camera, but it is a camera. So I was thinking that it's certainly possible to make toys with Bluetooth and video cameras. So this is how we did the BTT product. This is the early BTT. So the early BTT was a remote controlled Bluetooth car with a video camera. And this product has never been launched. This product has never been launched 10 years ago, and I think today people are launching this kind of products, but because it was not possible to launch it. The counterpart of this product, what I was thinking, was to use this Nokia cell phone designed to be a game console as a cell phone. It was very innovative, but this product was a failure, and one of the reasons was because it was not really possible to put apps in this telephone. You can put some video games, but not deeply use the phone hardware and the phone technology like Bluetooth to make innovative products. So, and also, as you have seen, we made this car, we made this toy, but it was not so great. You know, a car is not so funny. I don't have my driver license. I don't drive, but I know that you cannot have enough fun with those things. So I look for something else. I went to Sony, and at this time I get the idea to make something working with PSP, which was a very good hardware, very capable hardware, but there is no Bluetooth in this console, so it was not possible to do something. So this project, the BTT project, was more or less dead. So I had to stop it. And I heard about quadricopter. This is an early quadricopter. This is a quadricopter for 1905, quadricopter from Louis Breguet. And as you can see on the picture, it flies. But it's not possible to control it. It was a thing to be controlled by a human person, a pilot, and this kind of flying devices are too unstable to make them fly as an helicopter. This is why they did not succeed as an helicopter, because it was the first idea to make a vertical lift helicopter. So I heard about this one. You can, if you look, you can find older one, older solution on the principle of the quadrocopter. So my project of toy was impossible. I heard about those old quadrocopters, so I decided to do a Wi-Fi quadricopter. So the other source of inspiration of what we do at Parrot is consumer devices, consumer products. We do, as I told you, we do a Bluetooth system for the car industry. For example, this is the Tesla. We do the Bluetooth and the Wi-Fi system for the Tesla. For many Audis, BMWs, Volkswagen, Japanese car, the system comes from Parrot. And we do also a very nice audio system running on Wi-Fi or on Bluetooth with very mature DSP software. We are DSP engineering people. Speech processing, and which is also a very complex technology. When you have to remove the noise on the speech inside the car, is nearly as difficult as, or is as difficult as making flying a few hundred grams device in the wind. It's a very technical company. So to our drones, we take the same idea of, and the only thing we know, so what we know from consumer electronic, especially Linux. Everything we do recently, but every drone that Parrot has done runs on Linux, and it is the biggest part of the biggest technology component on our drone is Linux, but also ARM processor, Wi-Fi. The App Store in Apple or the Play Store in Android, which is a free system developed and developed worldwide that permits you to update your devices anywhere. It's something incredible if you think about what offers the App Store for free for developers. You can have devices anywhere on the planet, and you can upgrade for free without deploying any computer system the software. And we discover the MEMS. We are not working on MEMS. We do not use MEMS on our product, but we discover the MEMS. So we start with the InventSense gyros at the beginning. And also, we had a lot to learn about aeronautics. So I hired a very nice engineer, François Calou, was designing military devices, and we start to create a startup inside the company and to develop this new project, where you have to understand that and everybody in the company was against me in a certain way. Why I was thinking of doing toys for the cell phones and with no business case, with no clear idea of how to sell them and what to do with them. But during 1 or 2 years, we start and we work, and at this time we find no open source code for the autopilot. We find only publications on the various universities in Europe and in the US. Finally, in 2007, we get a business case, which is the iPhone. A business case that I did not really like at the beginning because I was not looking as a telephone, you know. I was looking as a gaming device with some capability, but that I have nothing. And finally, Apple launched the iPhone in 2007, and nearly 1 year after, they opened the iPhone to develop apps. And this was quite new. So we had our internal development, and we move our internal development to be compatible with the iPhone. So, but the main idea was coming years and years before that the iPhone reached the market. So we launched the AirDrone 2.1. The AirDrone 2.1 was designed to 1.0, sorry. The AirDrone 1.0 was designed for indoor. Also, it was mainly designed for indoor. It has no GPS. It has a way to measure the speed on the air, but without the GPS. We understand that we have to do it for outdoor, so we make a removable hull where you can have it indoor and outdoor, and a very simple hardware. A simple hardware. Simple doesn't mean it is not complex, because this hardware on a certain way is still more sophisticated than most of the drones that fly today. For example, like a mouse, this hardware measures the speed of the drone with a vertical camera, and he do optical flow to be very easy to pilot indoor. Because what I want is the fact that a kid can buy it and branch the battery, press the button take off, and the thing take off. Without understanding nothing about what is flying, what is physics of flying, what skill do you need. So for this, it's very difficult in indoor to have something that is steady at the first time. And the only way we find is to put those vertical cameras and those ultrasonic sensors that are in fact also very useful. So 2 years after, we did the drone 2.0. So the drone 2.0 is better suited to fly the outdoor. It's even more simple. It has only one board. It has a full HD camera, and you have to understand that all the drones have been designed to be toys. And in fact, we discover that they are much more than toys. They are much more interesting than toys, and also they are much more. We develop much more technology that needed only for toys. We develop a lot of function for the drones, including, for example, a cloud system where you can store all your data for your flight. The fact that you can upgrade all the software for each microcontroller in the drone using the App Store. So a very simple. The success was great. We have sold nearly. I think we have communicated that we have sold more than 600,000 of those two drones, and but the success was really more than expected. And after doing this. After doing the drone as a toy, of course, I understood that the drone as a toy, the drone is much better than a toy, and the drone is frankly the success of the AirDrone, and it was not designed for this, was the tens of thousands of videos that have been posted by users on YouTube. I think there are nearly 40,000 videos done by drone users, AirDrone Parrot users on YouTube. So what people want is a flying video camera. So now we really understand this. Really good flying video camera. This is what the people do. But also, we invest and we find a very nice team in a very good university in Europe, which is École Polytechnique de Lausanne, who were developing drones and professional drones, very simple professional drones, very close to what we did when we do professional drones as a toy, with a technical inspiration very close to what we do, but for example, where anybody can learn how to use it. To use an EB, of course there is a training, but you can really learn how to use an EB in 10 minutes. You just, how the software is designed, how you fly the device, how light is the device, and it's really something as simple as you, is more simple to use than a bicycle, for example, or for some things that you need a lot of training, you know. So this is the EB, and also, for example, the EB, the main software is on the tablet. You can download everything through the tablet, and so this is, I think, the drone as a toy as an inspiration for drones, and the consumer electronic product is really an inspiration we like to follow. Of course, the usage is very different. The EB come with Pix4D software, and this software permit you to make 3D maps with accuracy of 5 centimeters in a few hours. I don't know if you have seen the demos of what is done by the EB, but the EB is certainly the leader, the most widely sold professional drone for mapping. I think now we have sold hundreds. We have sold hundreds with the software, because the EB come like a consumer product with the drone and the software, and it's a turnkey solution. We also, of course, work a lot on agriculture, and we are launching the EB Agriculture version those days. EB Agriculture come also with a software package from Pix4D, which is also a Parrot company. And so the EB is really a very simple device. So this is the story of the drone at Parrot, but finally we did a toy. So because learning a lot from doing drones, we understand how to do really a toy. So we did this toy that we are launching in a few weeks from now. Thank you very much.